Hello, welcome everyone again to the second town hall debate for the SS Rig general elections. We have two candidates right now. Unfortunately, three other candidates could not make it. My name is Zasmin Giri, and I am a reporter and one of the moderators for this town hall.
Thank you so much. Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you to candidates accept this debate and join us, and welcome. Welcome to another debate for upcoming election for the Student Association Board. This position is the Director of Students Experience. My name is Roza Yazdan Nejat, and I'm the reporter of the dialogue, and I'm one of the moderator of this today debate. But what we have today, let's quick look at the agenda. Same as the previous debate, for the first, we just have a quick introduction. My colleague Zaz give you general rule. We all should comply with this rule during the debate. And then after that, we have 1 minute for opening statement. After that, we will go into the individual question. Next, we will have a student question, if we have any. And then after that, you should answer common question. And then at the end, you have the time for your closing statement.
Thank you for that, Rosa. So the general rules are the time limit as specified for each session will be strictly followed. If the time limit is exceeded, the speaker will be cut off by the moderator. Speakers must be respected. Only one person will be allowed to speak at a time. If another candidate speaks over the speaker, they will either lose some time of their next speaking turn, the opportunity to rebuttal, or an entire speaking turn according to rules specific to each round below. Inappropriate language or actions will lead to the loss of chance for the candidate to speak again. No personal attacks will be allowed. All remarks and comments during rebuttal or statements must remain professional. Candidates will have 1 minute to deliver an opening statement that includes but is not limited to their motivation to run for this position, the work they plan to do, and why they are the right person for this position. Candidates will have 1 minute at the end for closing statements. In this time, they can summarize their ideas and conclude their arguments. Candidates can now take a minute each to introduce themselves for the opening statement.
Check. Perfect. So, hello everyone. My name is Peter Corno, and I guess I was the Director of Student Experience for the past year. I am in the construction management program. I play intramural soccer every Wednesday. I just finished the intramural volleyballs. I love the sports, and I love this job even more. It's great talking to people. It's fun networking to people. And it's great to just see everyone happy for what we can do.
Hello everyone, my name is Anshane. You might have not seen me that much, I haven't been St. James much, but now I'm gonna be here as well. What motivates to me was to stand here is like a smile on everyone's face. I want to see every student smiling. I've seen both the introvert and extrovert sides of the college. I know the introverts, not for me now. But now I know that I want to see everyone enjoy, rather be introvert, extrovert, living their life to the fullest, living their college life, and I'm going to bring it. Thank you.
Thank you both. For this round, we are going to the individual question, but there is a some. Each candidate has his own question. You have 2 minutes to answer the question, but the other candidate have the chance of rebuttal. You can challenge your candidate, but in 1 minute. Please look at this sign I always show during the just 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and time up. Please wrap up your talk before the time up. And the other thing, please answer the question directly. Please explain what is your goal and what is the action plan and how do you want to achieve this. Otherwise, I can ask you to explain more or interrupt you or just ask follow-up question. Okay.
Peter, can you please provide examples from your platform of how you will work to better the lives of the students?
Thank you. I can see that's always that's a good question. That's always a funny question to me, because I can say all these things I believe that's going to better the lives of students. Now, everyone has a different life. Everyone has their own battles. Everyone has their own upbringings. Everyone has their own downbringings. Everyone's made equally different. The way that I can help students the most is by listening and seeing what they need help with. Because I can throw an idea at them. I say, oh, maybe you need help with scheduling. I don't know if they need help with scheduling. Maybe they need help with school. I really don't know unless I ask. Once I ask and they tell me, oh yeah, maybe I need help with time management, then we can work on a plan. And what that would look like would be, I guess, time management's a common aspect. If a lot of students have this problem as well, I would reach out, see who has these problems with time management, and then I would build maybe a club around it. Every 2 weeks, we can meet up and set these goals, set these objectives, and we can work on our time management together. Or if students prefer to be by themselves, then we can work on a way for them to be by themselves while working on time management. The most important thing about helping students is being able to listen to them and being able to alter the way that you think to fit their needs. Thank you.
So the next question, student engagement is a major component of student experience. What is your view on the lack of student engagement in election, especially with the lack of candidate, especially for some of this candidate never show up, and you want to how they boost the engagement of the students, participate more and more?
So when it comes to student engagement, and as you said, the participants don't actually show up, well, students already know if they're not here, in the future, they may or may not. When it comes to students engaging in voting, when they vote, they are voting for themselves, not for us. They're voting for a representative who would take care of them, their fun, their experience, engaging them in the future as well. Their life is somehow impacted by choosing us. So their engagement is very, very important for us, as well as them, because they are choosing a good life for them and good measures for them themselves. Thank you.
What do you think of the recreation and other events the SA provides students with at present? How would you contribute to this differently?
Between the last year and the pretty much years before that, SA has done a pretty good job in providing recreational events and many more how students engage in it. The different thing which I would like to introduce is that George Brown College pretty much takes pride in its diversity. We want more diversity events, we want more cultural events, we want more countries to be introduced to more people. As the students of the George Brown College majority is both a mix of domestic and international, the domestic students wants to know about different cultures, and the international students wants to see a home away from home, and they want to see how they can experience back home while staying in the college, and the new people can experience new cultures and have fun, simply.
I have a question for you. You mentioned that you would want to bring an experience for students, home away from home experience, right? How would you implement your actions in a way to give them new, to introduce new diverse events here at GC?
So it's like the events mainly, let's say, I'll talk about my country, and I can talk about any other country as well, but I'll start with mine. Mine is India. We are a festivals country, right? So let's say the New Year's is Holi. Holi is coming up, it's a festival of colors. The SA is having a party, but I'm pretty much sure the party does not introduce the history of Holi. Nobody knows why it's celebrated. it doesn't include colors, which back home is the best thing of Holi. The colors, they put it on their face. We show pretty much love by applying colors. So there's no colors, there's no history, but pretty sorry, no attack, yeah. But yeah, still, like when it comes to this having events of different cultures, introduction of the history, why is it celebrated, who celebrates it, and mainly indulging ourselves as well as the students by showing them how it's done in their own separate countries, introduces them to a culture exactly like back home.
Problem with this today. Peter, the next question is for you. You mentioned that you are at board, you have this experience. Can you provide a specific example of how you have addressed a student concern and how do you plan to build upon this experience to effectively serve students if you are elected?
Thank you. Could you word the question a little differently, please? Okay, so just to
Because I want to
confirm.
mention that I need your previous experience,
Yes.
and just explain about your experience, and then explain that how do you want this use this experience for the future if you elect again.
So the experience I would deal with a lot with helping students along the student association would be they would ask me a question and a lot of the times it wouldn't have anything to do with the director of student experience. But again, I'm not just gonna point them into a direction to go ask someone else. I wanna see if I can actually figure it out myself. Majority of the time, 8, 9 times out of 10, you can search it up online, you can find the answer, and you can help those students out with whatever problems they are facing. What I'd like to do in the beginning, or sort of what I'd like to do following this, would be, I guess, trying to make it where students understand where they can actually search for certain help tips online. Not that I don't want students to come to me for help, I'm always more than willing to help, but also just in case they can't find me, and in case they can't find someone else to try to help them, then they can figure out how to search it up themselves, how to learn themselves, and where to go themselves. So what I would do for that would be building a online class so it can teach students where to, not class in terms of that way, just an online little 2-hour lesson so it can show students where to go if they have questions.
Oh, I mean that this is the plan that you have for future?
That would be a plan I'd have for the future.
Okay, but could you please give us an example of what did in the past?
In the past, we've had a situation, actually just today, or was it, I believe yesterday, we had a student that was asking me issues about, they want to learn about their program, and another student was having some other personal issues, which I don't want to disclose right now. But an issue with the program was, again, not through Director of Student Experience, but I'm fortunate enough to know where to go and how to search that up. So I show said students how to search up online, where to go. I told them I'm not the best person to ask to about your program, but this person's email is the best person to ask to. And that if someone else had a question, a more personal problem, I tried to help them. I couldn't find their answer online. I said your best place to go to would be the service desks in the front or the help desk that the SA provides in the basement where they have the insurance policies.
Thank you. Do you have any question you want to ask? Otherwise, I want to continue and stay in this question. And could you please explain about it? What is the SA Connect? You mentioned that the SA Connect, the online platform for answer this question. How you want to work on the make a better experience for your students? What is the platform you want to prepare for your students exactly? Which kind of the question that you want to address? And how can help you to for better experience?
The first question would be, does it need to be a different platform, or do we need to teach students how to navigate the platform? So I'd start off with trying to teach students how to navigate the platform. If that is a simple, easy process, then why not stick with that? However, if students are having difficulties with the platform, and this is a very common issue, then we would look into changing the platform to make it more accessible for students.
So my question would be for you, for you as well. What are some of the things that you wanted to achieve last year but couldn't, and would like to pursue this year if you were to get re-elected? And how do you plan on doing it?
Last year, when I first started, ambitions were in the sky. Ambitions still are in the sky. I don't think they're ever going to go down. But one thing that was really on my mind last year was trying to have outing events every month. And what I mean by that is I have a large group of friends. One with them, I plan my events, and we do fun things that we like to do, such as paintball, mini putts, and this is things everyone else likes to do as well. Simple things. People like to go out on a Saturday night, Friday night. Oh, what do you want to do? You want to go out to the bar? You want to go play mini putts? You want to go to do paintball? You want to do go-karting? I'd love to do smaller events like that, but outing events. So then we can actually take maybe a group of 100, 200 students out to go do a mini putt tournament. We can make it fun for them. We can take students to go do a paintball tournament, a go-karting, to Dave & Buster's, experiences that no one ever experienced in Canada for whatever reason, and that we're able to fortunately explore to them because we can reimburse some of the cost.
Okay, let's continue. I have a question. Equity and inclusivity are important for a good student experience. How will you promote these through events and recreation?
That's a pretty good question. Thank you for asking that. As I said previously in my previous answers, I'm a person who loves to go and meet new people, new cultures, and that's the whole question is about. Diversity and inclusion. Many people coming from different places over here. Some feel that they're below, some feel that they're above. But over here, what GBC sees, what we see, what the board sees, and what everyone wants to see is that everyone is equal. Every student's voice is the same and should be heard. Through events, one thing could be possible, that many different events where different cultures are introduced, those could be inclusivity and diversity as well. And when it comes to introduction of success networks, like the Black Student Success Network just launched a few weeks ago. Many other groups and teams, like maybe in the future the LGBTQ community can come up, just like the Black Student Success Network has been joined. Several different plans can come up, and we could include many people and introduce many people to many different variety of people, let's say.
So I have a question. You mentioned that everybody is equal in the GBC, but is there any issue you want to address it? Is there any issue you want to work on it and cooperate with Equity and Education team, Director of Equity and Education in the board to address this kind of the issue?
So it's not totally about what I say. As personally, I have faced no racism, I have not been excluded from anything or any situation. It's all about the students. For my personal idea, which I pretty much want to include as soon as I join in, is like including a suggestion box or a chat box open for every student where they can either give their name or anonymously tell anything, rather it be an event they want, rather they want something to be changed in recreation, rather they face racism, rather they're not feeling included. So any message which comes in over there, the Director of Equity and Education is addressed to that.
Hello. Okay. I can hear a lot of ideas, which is really inspiring. But I want to specifically ask both of you, in respective to your own plans and own strategies, how do you intend to implement them if you get elected? How do you plan on making it aware to all the students? Because I believe most of the students are not aware of certain things. So how do you intend to do that? If you can mention those things, I encourage both of you to answer.
Thank you. So when it comes to students being introduced to what's going on and making them aware, the things like social media platforms are going to be used. Me and the other board members are the face of the board, and they're going to come down and include the people, the students into it. The College Dialogue newspaper can also be used to introduce students to the events which are going to come up. The TV screens in the cafeterias, the board, the posters, many things can be done to include them. But one of the main is mainly the social media, because I use it a lot, all of the students use it a lot. It's kind of pretty easy, shareable, and instant, I would say. Many events are planned. Do you want to know the plans or just the how students can be introduced? For sure, I'll name the main categories which I'm thinking. I told about the culture events which I'm thinking. The secondary thing is like I've seen many students come down over here and they say they've not explored Canada at all. All they have been is, the maximum is Toronto, Mississauga, the GTA area, and Niagara Falls. The Blue Mountains, which were pretty good, the essay took. There are many other places. There's Barrie, there's Mississauga, the beaches, there's Grand Bend. There's many, there's Montreal, there's accessible areas where students can go, and I want to make events cheaper and budget friendly so that students, without hurting their pockets, can really enjoy Canada as a whole and enjoy being at GPC.
I love this question because, not to sound crazy, but I was asking myself the same question or something like this not too long ago. So I guess first things first, where I'd start off is the way I would get students to be aware of these events, and then I'll go into what type of events these would be tabling. But not just tabling where we just set a table over here, set people over there, and then call it a day if you have any questions come up. I like to activate. I like to actually activate with students. I like to engage with them. I like to talk with them. I like to have fun with them. I'm a competitive person at nature. Now, I do understand I can't be competitive all the time with the students, but before I go off the tracks, let me explain what I mean. So a lot of times when I would be tabling, I would set up a little cup pong game, or I'd set up a Jenga, or I'd set up Connect Fort, and I'd make it where students would try to beat me. And I'm a bit of a competitive person, and I hop on the mic and I'm like, yeah, no one can beat me. And then people want to try to do it. Obviously, I lose all the time, but I'm not going to say that. So that's one way I see that working all the time, where I get tens, 50s of students. Even there was one time where that hundreds of students show up, just watching us play games at this table. And what I would do then is, during that time, I would have flyers over there, and I'd probably give away some tickets, giveaways, if they win. And so instead of giving away gift cards, which I normally do, I would give away tickets. What these events would be I want to build an Instagram page where I can actually ask students what events they want to see, and then go from there. I do like what you were saying about taking kids away, taking students away. I was actually looking into, with a lot of help, of course, a Montreal trip for a few days, which would be beautiful. Thank you.
So the next question about the level of engagement and advocacy. As you both know that SA offer many student services, but how do this fit into student experience? And how can you, as a director of student experience, advocate for and connect the students to improve the experience for them?
Thank you. So the SC has many, what we say is branches of it, let's say. They have the community center as well. They have mental health. We have Safe Walk as well. So there's many things which comes in, and the students are not aware of it. For the community center, it was like 2 months ago when I was being aware of it. Like there's something that exists at this time. So it's been promoted less, I would say. We can promote that more, and when it comes to their wellness, experience is a part of their wellness as well. We want the students to be not just having fun and partying or traveling, we also want them to be fit mentally and as well as physically. So we want them to know as much they can. We want them to be a part of it by promoting it, and as much they know, so it's free and it's for them. So we want them to take part in it, and it's for their own well-being, I would say.
No questions.
So I have a question. You mentioned that you let a student aware. There are many ways to be aware. There are social media, Dialogue is your student association is in all campuses. What else do you think that necessary? What other action do you think that we should take, or you can contribute to take this action, to take this step, to make students be more aware of the services?
So if we exclude the digital forms such as the social media, the essay, there's the TVs in the canteen, there's always the dialogue, there's always tables which can be put down to introduce people to what's going on, like the one that we have in near the St. James campus, the subway. There's many other platforms, but the main one is going to be the word of mouth. When the board of directors are going to come out and tell students themselves the social media accounts we make, we are going to post on that. Students, once a student knows what, once a student knows what actually worked for them, they're going to be telling their friends that, hey, there's community center over here, here's mental well-being, here's Let's Talk, here's this, here's that. So, excuse me. So the main thing is going to be word of mouth, as well as us, who is going to be promoting it up front for the students and their well-being.
Hello. Sorry, I keep messing up with this one. So Peter, I have a question for you. How will you communicate and engage with diverse student groups to ensure maximum meaningful engagement with the essay?
Do you mean strictly diverse or just diverse in general? Strictly diverse. So we're actually working on that right now, and what we're doing to work on strictly diverse groups is we're building more clubs. And what I mean by that is, let's say we have a Fuego club for Latin students, we have a Noir club for Black culture students, and we're even working on a European club. After this, we're working on a few other clubs, because those clubs, as much as these events are amazing, of course, but the clubs can pull in students that some of these events can't. And these clubs, especially when you build that community, when you build that family, that is one of the most important things you can do. So what we're doing, again, to connect with diverse students, to, summarize this and wrap it up, we are building more clubs to activate and connect with different types of students, in sense of sports, in sense of their culture, in sense of their hobbies.
Just a follow-up to that question. How do you plan to approach the students belonging to various groups or having different accessibility requirements? For example, international students or students with disabilities. How do you plan on approaching them?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Well, we already engage with a lot of different types of students as of right now for those clubs. For the Fuego clubs, for the Noir clubs, for the hobby clubs. And what we do, again, like what Ange was saying before, it's very word of mouth. Very word of mouth. When you show them they're having a good time, when they like it, yeah, they bring their friends. That's how it is. If they don't like it, they don't see what's going on, then they're not going to tell their friends. That's how this is. So that's why making sure you're there for the students, making sure you're showing them a good time, making sure it's accessible for students such as you listed, that is one of the most important things you can do. Because when you show them that they're important to you, and that they have a good time with what you're hosting, they're going to tell their friends, and you're going to help more people that way. Which is why clubs, in my eyes, are one of the most important things you can have.
Thank you so much. You both mentioned that word of mouth. You want to work on it. But you know that word of mouth come from the experience, bad experience or good experience. And it's back to the job you want to apply for that, you want to campaign for that, and you are now a candidate for that. How we can create a better experience and let students use this word of mouth, talk about this experience, and use this weapon to spread the awareness among the students and in all George Brown students. Could you please answer it? And before the answer, don't forget, you can ask a question from each other. Or use the time. If you have any question from each other, you can ask it and use your time.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to when you said there's word of mouth in both ways, it's either good or it's either bad. First of all, we never aim for the bad. We aim for always it to be good, and not even good, we aim for excellence. When it comes for excellence aiming, we pre-plan everything what we're going for. Rather it be events, clubs, or anything we're promoting, or anything we do is pre-planned. We just don't go with the flow. You have to plan the risks involved in everything, the engagement involved in everything, the promotion or the thing which you're bringing forward to the students. You plan that beforehand, before bringing it to the students, so that we know what's going on and what we have planned for the students. Is it good for the students or not? So we aim for excellence. When it comes to bad word of mouth, let's say we did a mistake. Everyone does, we're humans, right? We did a mistake, we made a bad club, or we did a bad event, or maybe a bad promotion was done. Errors are possible, anything is possible. So students are for us and we are for students. We create and they create a safe spot for both of us. We want them to feel safe with us. They can ask us anything, they can tell us anything, they can give us feedbacks. We must be open to feedbacks for sure. We are there for the students, irregardless of the mistakes we make, and they should be there to tell us what we're doing wrong or what we're doing right. Let's say we had a one bad word of mouth, no worries. Future is a pretty long thing. We're gonna work on it, more excellence, more good stuff, and we're gonna plan good stuff so that the next time bad word of mouth turns into good. Thank you.
It's interesting because I have a follow-up question with in regards to the plans that you mentioned. You mentioned that you plan thoroughly and then you execute it and not just go with like ad hoc. So how do you aim to fulfill the expectations that you have set for yourself and the students who are looking up to you, to have that sort of experience? How do you plan on or aim to fulfill those expectations?
So it's a pretty long thing when you plan and when you go for giving the students what they expect. But for the first step would be, as Peter said, listening. Listening is the best thing. I have to listen to students. I have to ask students. I have to be there for students when they tell me stuff. If a student wants a party, there's party. If the students want culture, it's culture. If the students want a pretty whole different thing, there's whole different. There's many other aspects of entertainment and recreational which BSc has not even hit over yet in the past years and now. The George Brown College does not have a music room. We don't have instruments. We don't have good thing for a good dance classes or something. The sports, we play football in a basketball court. There's many other things which could be focused on and put into, but those are all my ideas and my plans. But my main motive would be to listen to students as much as I can, to listen what they want, and then know what they are expecting, so I can plan according to that.
You both know that the Student Association offer many services and you're familiar with all of them or some of them. But are your values aligned with the values of the Student Association? How will this help you in this position? Do you think that anything changed, anything different? Peter.
Do you want to ask? Thank you. So, what I would say about your values lining up with the Student Association, something I see a lot, or something I saw while being on the board, is you have students that will come here and they'll have this idea, and then that doesn't align with the Student Association, whether that idea is good or bad. What's important is being able to change the way you think, change your mind sometimes, and realize that maybe it can't work this way. Maybe we have to approach it, and instead of just talking about nothing, let me bring up an example. Let's say I showed up and I said I want to bring 1,000 students to Vancouver. Now, let's just say that would wipe out our budgets, and I hop in there and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. But if I'm too stubborn to see why I shouldn't do that, then that's not going to be helpful for the students. It's not going to be helpful for the student association. It's not going to be helpful for me. It's not going to be helpful for anybody. What's important is being able to hop in there, realize we're new in this role, but we're willing to learn. And we're willing to see where your values are and where our goals are and what we can do in between to make both of them happen.
Thank you. But what about your value? Are they aligned with the student association value?
Sorry about that. I don't know if that was my microphone or yours.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Maybe our play with us. I don't know. But what about your value? Are they aligned with the student association values?
My value is doing what's best for everybody else. That's my value. I can say my value right now is I love going to Dave & Buster's in the arcade. Okay, I'll do that with my group of friends on a Saturday. I don't have to push that to the student association for that to be an event here. What's going to make me happy with an event here is going to be what everyone else wants. If I'm able to, what's going to make me the happiest is if I can somehow engage with all 200 students. They all have that some sort of same event, and we can all work together like we're a group of friends. Because I like what you were saying before, talking with students, I have a bit of a saying with that. You want to talk with people, not talk at people. And if you understand that, then it really makes a lot of sense to you. And when I say talk with people, I mean I'd love to talk with students, figure out what plans they want, and then we can work from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I actually have a follow-up question on both of you, because both of you mentioned how you would go around and talk with students, how you would engage with students, but one can only meet certain amount of students, right? So how would you ensure that your voices, your your plans, your aims, reach out to every student and connect with them? So anyone can go first, you can decide.
That's a pretty good question, because yeah, of course I don't want to say that I can go on to students and then some student is left behind. As an individual, I'm just one. I cannot go to 2,000 students or like 50,000 students in one day and be like, yay, I met everyone. That's not possible. So I would love to meet as many students as possible, but the students, they always have to know that I'm always available for them. They'll have my Insta, they'll have my Gmail, they'll have me in person going to campuses. They can meet me whenever they want. They can reach out to me however they want. There's different platforms to reach me out. If not, they can always reach me out in person. So maybe I cannot reach everyone out, but everyone can reach me out. That would be awesome.
Thank you, Joe.
No, you cannot encourage people.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't encourage you. I'm sorry. I discourage you. Okay, so what you were saying about word of mouth, I have a little funny situation about that. My hometown in Italy, about 10,000 people. None of them use the phones. None of them use. It's a very old style town. The second anything happens, if something happens at 10 o'clock, you leave the house at 11 o'clock, every single person out of 10,000 person town knows about it. The reason why? It's because they're interested, because they like it. They like the gossip, it's that gossip mentality. Now, we don't have that gossip mentality at George Brown, but the way we can engage with other students is by offering a good quality services, whatever it is, and make sure it's good quality, make sure they're into it, make sure they want it. When you offer something, if I offered someone to my good friend over there, and he likes it, he's gonna go to his friend in the blue hat over there, and he's gonna say, oh yeah, you should come over here, because we wanna have these services. I was going to say something bad, but I'm not going to encourage that. I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. I also have one more question for Peter. If you were re-elected, what is one major thing that you hope to achieve?
I'd love to achieve two things. But I'm going to throw a third thing in there because these two things are a little selfish of mine because I just want to do this. I think students would like these though, just so we get that on the record. The first one would be I want to throw the biggest. I want to try to rent a club if that's what students want, to throw the biggest party that we've had at George Brown. I think that would be an awesome title to have. I think that would be a really amazing night. So I'd love to do that again if that's what students want. Now the other task I'd love to, and this one I'd really just love to do, would be I'd love to take around 400 to 500 students to Montreal for a good 3-4 days, and we're not just going to ship them there and just plop them there and that's it. I want to set up agendas with them. I had a vacation this week, this summer, and they set up agendas with me. Every morning we had to do, every morning there was activities, dodgeball, soccer, games, classes, discussions, whichever it was for a conference. I'd love to have that same style with Montreal, where there's always something for students to do there. I don't want to be a vacation where students sit down. I want to be a vacation where you need a vacation after that vacation, if that makes sense.
So you mentioned two things, you promised two things. The big party, the biggest party and the travel to Montreal. Yeah. And a student can follow up if vote for you and you elected it. Yeah. Okay. So what about you? What is your promises? And how do you want to achieve that?
For sure. My promises are going to be halfway the same as Peter. It's going to be travel, 100%. Montreal, Wasaga, Grand Bend Beach. There's many other places wherever we can go. We can go Algonquin Park in the autumn. I've heard the fall season is pretty much amazing over there with the forest, the whole forest turning brown. There's many other places to go, but yeah, travel. The second thing would be around the world trip, like not a trip going in person, because of course we cannot take everyone around the world, right? But in the college we can introduce the different cultural events. In January we go Korea, in February we go Spain, in March maybe somewhere else. Who knows? But every different month, different weeks maybe, different places to go. There's a whole big country, the whole big world. Let's see everything. Let's explore different cultures, explore different places and different people. No more. Inclusive is there, diversity is there, everything is there. People will have so much fun, I can promise that. The third thing I would love is like making a platform for students to speak up, because I can tell my 2 plans, he can tell his 5 plans, you can tell your all plans, but I want every student or whoever wants to tell their plans, what they want in the college. Maybe they have a better plan. They're brilliant minds coming over here. They can shoot up thousands of ideas, we can process it, we can see what's best, and we can do it.
Question?
If I have like a statement slash question,
Yeah.
is that okay?
Yeah, you can ask question.
Okay, see, our values align pretty equally about that too, because I think it's weird. I also think we can show all the ideas we want. What's important is hearing from the students what they want, and and going from there. My question for you, because I have the answer, or at least my answer in my head, but there's no answer that's right. But my question for you is, how would you get that students on that platform, and what platform would you use?
I don't want to be too tech savvy, because I'm not tech savvy myself. I don't want any student to be thinking like, to give an idea they have to answer 30,000 questions and make an app or something. We already have a George Brown app, we can use that, or simply a QR code, Google Forms, throw your ideas. I want it to be as simple as possible. Students have pretty much assignments and quizzes all going on in their head. They don't want one more headache, right? They just want a simple platform, just drop their idea and that's done. Maybe a QR code, maybe a website, maybe on the GPC app itself. Any idea could be considered, but it would be as simple as it could for the students.
I have a follow-up question for both of you, because both of your promises are quite similar, I would say. So there are so many trips, there are so many parties. So I'm just going to throw the question here. You can decide who's going to speak first, but how do you think that students will be able to manage their time, classes, responsibilities. How do you aim to drive more engagement, to increase their involvement in these activities? Because it's a lot. I mean, every month or every week, if you plan events or make promises to take them somewhere else or to travel, it's going to be a lot for us too. So you can decide who's going to answer, and yeah.
You told me, sir. You go first. I'll take it.
See, that's funny, because you're right, but you're right, and I think the same thing. But sometimes what I see, I don't see that. Because I'll see a 4-hour event right after school on a Thursday be more empty than occupying students for an entire day to bring the Blue Mountain. Yes, we're going to take up a lot of time, but we're not going to take up a lot of time for nothing. We'll take up a lot of time because it'll be a great event, because we want to take it to Montreal. We bring up a Montreal event, I doubt there will be, if it's that good of an event, and because Montreal is that big of a place, that big of an event, that big of a service, people are going to want to go. People are going to want to get tickets. People are going to try to make plans so they can show up to these events. If they don't want to show up to, now if it does become too much, let's say I don't think either of us are planning on taking students to Montreal once a week. The Montreal probably would have been once every 2 semesters events, the once a year events. Exactly, the big event at the end. Exactly. In that situation, that's what it would be. We would obviously want to do quality events over the quantity of the events.
As same as Peter said, the bigger events are once in a lifetime, or like once in 2 semesters. You go to Montreal once, you go to maybe different places just once, but when it comes to the other tiny events, which I was talking about, the around the world trip or many cultural events or tiny parties which are coming up, those would be like once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks. So even if not every student can come down because they have exams, they have quizzes, they have another one to follow up. They missed this one, don't worry, 2 weeks after you got another one. 2 weeks after you got another thing going on. You missed China in the World Tour, no worries, you got Spain coming up. You were in Spain, no worries, it's Switzerland coming up. It's gonna be snowy. So that's how it works. You miss one thing, no worries, you got something else. SA has to keep on giving to students and giving as many chances to be there, and it's up to the students to come down.
You promise a lot of trip with a lot of, you need a lot of money. It's very expensive to cover that. But before this, let's go through the next round, and then if we have time, you can explain about the expenses and the cost and something like this. But let's go through the student question. Is there any student question? Is there anybody want to ask a question from the candidate? If we receive any question from the St. James, Sophie, there's-
Hi, my name is Angelica. I'm an international student here. So me and my friends throughout this 2 semesters that were here, we didn't know about a lot of services of student associations, and we're actually about to graduate right now. But I was wondering, how will you let more students know about all these student association services?
I feel bad making. I don't want to. I feel bad. I don't want you to have to run back and forth every time. In this situation, I'd ask you a question. I'd ask why. First, how did you find out? And then I guess what kept you from not finding out. So the way I don't want to make a run back and forth. The way I would answer this question is by asking you how you found out and what kept you from not finding out about the services we offer. Because, say again? Before, because you said you didn't know the services, So I'd ask you why, like what made you not know the services, and then I'd ask you what could we have done to engage with you for services, because we could say, oh yeah, we'll put it on the TV, we could put it on the newspapers, we could put it on the boards, but if you still didn't see it from there, then it's now a question of what do we have to do differently to fix this, and why not just go to the source itself and say, why didn't you know, and what can we do differently to make it where you actually can know about these services?
To be honest, when we arrived here, there was a lot of things, so we were kind of overwhelmed, either with Canada or with college. So I didn't even know how to use D2L. So that's what I'm saying, and I didn't quite find like about the Instagram of Student Association as well quite that much in the Student Association Lounge. So I think maybe it could be more advertised. Maybe that, I don't know. That's just an idea. So that's what I was thinking of.
I hear that a lot, where it's a lot. And when it's a lot, it's hard to focus on one thing, especially when we have everything that we offer as Student Association on top of everything George Brown offers, on top of everything there is in Canada that offers. So what we would have to be, we would definitely look into a way to calm down the features, to make it where it's a little more easier and process simpler, so it doesn't seem as overwhelming when you want to just understand what's going on at the Student Association.
Well, yeah, thank you very much to first ask this question, as we want in the future as well, you will be asking more questions and you'll be studying more things. One of the things is pretty common. People do not know about many services. I personally got to know about the Community Care Center 3 months ago. I was like, whoa, this is new. They got buttons and games and stuff. But yeah, excuse me. There's a lot which Student Association offers in its services, but we would work on promoting it more. Maybe advertising our social media pages, maybe putting on the TVs more, the boards, maybe newspapers, maybe pamphlets, handouts. We got so many ideas, but thanks for the idea of promoting it, and we will do.
Is there any question? Otherwise, we can go on and go to the other round of questions.
Get your cardio on today.
Hey guys, my name is Ibrahim. I have one question. Do you think that George Brown College should focus and prioritize the academic excellence over the fun experience and the holistic well-being of the students in their planning in the college?
No, sir.
I still feel bad. I still feel bad making you run back and forth. You could have walked forward, man. No, it's all good. Both of them need to be in harmony. Both school, both events, both break, both work, they need to be in harmony. The most important thing in life is balance. I remember I was actually going to comment on this before. You were bringing up the mental and physical health. Mental and physical health is the most important thing. My saying is, once that goes, it all goes. And when you put too much into work, you drain yourself. When you put too much into having fun, you don't have time to do the serious things. Both of them need to be in harmony. I don't think they should be prioritized over the other all the time. It should be, now we have time to have some fun, now we need to get down to work. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, well asked. The same as Peter said. It's going to be a mix of both. when you use the student experience and the student fun and recreation is, the whole point is when you're too tired of studying, when there's too many quizzes, too many assignments, and you're done, like done, then you need parties, then you need events, then you need music, dance, culture, everything you need then. So it's a mix of both worlds, which is going to be the student experience, and the students is going to enjoy as well as excel in its academics.
Thank you so much. Is there any other question? You want to ask a question? Sophia, we have another question.
So like we have events over here, like in essay. So is that possible that it can be shifted to somewhere more fun, not like this area? Maybe in future.
What are you talking about?
Like events, like past events, casino nights.
Wait, want to go to the real casino?
Yeah.
So, like more fun places.
So, okay. Well, just to talk about the casino for a second. The reason we do the casino here is because we can do it where you don't have to use real money, and that's the most accessible. Now, in terms of actually bringing students different places, that's what I want to do. That's what I mean by what I want to do next. If knock on wood, that's not wood. That's wood. Knock on wood. If we get what happens. But that's what I'd love to do. But every month, do different and go somewhere new. That's what I mean. Because now this is a fun place. This is fun. This is home. Put your hands down. And this is a fun place, and that's the thing. But I understand because you want to go out too. You want to go explore a little. You want to see what you've never seen before. That's what I'd love to do, and that's what I mean by I can throw my ideas, but I want to see what you want to do. So if you actually were like interested in going to the casino, and then there was like 150 different people that were saying, oh yeah, this is actually an event we'd want to go to, based on the engagement when we would engage with students, if we get their feedback, then that'd be a beautiful event we would run. If we got 150 students wanting to go skiing, then we'll make that happen. If we got 150 students wanting to go to a TFC game, then that would be our goals. Our goal would be listening to what you want, and then we can go from there. Because if you want to leave, well, not leave, but if you want to go explore a little, then there you go, and we can make it a few events where you can explore a little and we can figure out what we want to do.
Yeah, as you said, this place kind of gets boring. Yeah, it does. Because you spend 3 hours, 4 hours in an event over here, and the next time the event comes up, it's still again over here. The next time it comes up, it's still over here. And 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, it's good. 50 times we have party over here. Nah. So when it comes to going outside, for sure, we have to see the number of students coming in. If there's just 50 people, we cannot, of course, go outside and rent out the big Rebel Club, of course, right? But there's, according to the students' need, I would say, as per the amount of people going, as per the need, and the motive of going mainly focuses on going outside or not. But going outside does make 100% more sense when there's more students and there's a need.
Okay. Is there any other question? Okay, we are behind the schedule. Let's go through the next part. It's a common question. We ask one question and you should answer both. Answer it, and then we go for the next round.
So the first question is, what does being Director of Student Experience mean according to you? How will you maximize the platform you have if elected? First, Peter, and then.
Thank you. For the past year, I kind of had my own interpretation of how a Director of Student Experience and what it is and what it means to me. By the end of this year, I now see Director of Student Experience isn't just about being the person that helps run the events, isn't just about being the fun guy that helps with the clubs, helps with the street festivals, helps with the games. It's about being that person that you're going to be seen the most by students. You're in that position, you're in that role where you're going to be going around the most. You're going to be seen the most. You're going to be the most, I don't say popular for poor lack of words, but let's just say popular for poor lack of words. Popular board of directors. And when people have a problem, even when it has nothing to do about student experience, and majority of the time it doesn't, they're gonna ask you because they see you the most. And you're gonna have to help direct them, and you're gonna help, even if it's not has nothing to do with your job, doesn't matter. You gotta help, but not because you have to, because you want to, hopefully. Because you're gonna be that person that can actually help drive them where they need to be, drive them and point them in the right directions. Now, that's one take of it. The other take of it is also engaging with other students. That's also very important. Not just having fun with where you are, but trying to get the students that don't show up to events before and try to make those students that, and try to make every student happy is the goal. Now, there's also a saying, if you want to make everyone happy, you gotta serve ice cream. Because, you know, it's a saying. Do your best to try to make everyone happy, and also be there. And I like what you were saying before. I really like what you were saying, because you were saying that you have your Instagrams, they have your Gmails, and that's perfect. That's perfect.
Gonna keep it as simple. Just bring out smiles for students, know their needs and help them. Be there for them, and they should know that they can reach out to you whatever they want with. They have a smile, they know that I'm there, and they know that whenever they need, they can ask me out. That's the simplest form of a person I can be as a director and make them happy. That's it.
Thank you so much. If you elect for this position, how would you best ensure that the rest of the board director are meaningfully engaged in meeting and operation of the student association?
Everyone has their responsibilities of their own. If I ask the board of director of operations, he's not going to tell me that where's the next trip going to be. But when it comes to asking somebody else, he's not going to tell me the exact thing which I might be responsible for. But in the board, we work together. The ideas are going to be shared by me or the other board. We're going to be sitting together, we're going to be talking it out, discussing everything when it comes to the engagement, the fund, the expenses covered in, the operations, the risks. Everything works as a hand. Everything works together. So what you have to simply talk it out, let them know, ask for feedback, and be open to feedback to solve or maybe mitigate the risks or any issues possible.
I know. No, I know that. I'm just trying to think. Could you actually repeat the sentence?
Sorry for interruption. And how would you best ensure that the rest of the board of directors are meaningfully engaged in a meeting and operation of the SAJBC Student Association?
So what I found worked the best was, instead of trying to, what I originally tried to do, and what usually wouldn't work, was I let them know 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, and then I just send a message in the chat, and then whoever responds, and then that usually wouldn't help that much with helping them engage. Like you said, they're not going to help us plan the events, but it is nice for them to show up so then students also know who they are, so students can ask them the right questions so they can know the right answers, or so that the students can get the right answers. Now, what I found worked for me was when I set the events a lot more in the past, and I tell them a lot more in the future when the events would be. I'd call them, I'd follow up. I wouldn't just send one message, I'd give them a call. And that also in the terms of, as Director of Student Experience, it's kind of your job, it would be our job to be the closest ones with the board, to hold the board together, to talk with them the most. Because everyone else has their own liabilities, has their own jobs, has their own assets as well. But it's our job and our asset to also connect with the board and to make sure they're followed up with what's going on socially wise.
Okay, thank you. But let me ask a question, because we just already mentioned that cooperation with the other board member. How expand the knowledge of other services beyond event. Because, you know, in a board, there are many services. In a board, there are the representative of any center, and there are many services, many concerns, and you campaign and you nominate yourself to promote this experience, the student experience. So, beyond the event, what about the knowledge of other services?
The reason I bring up the events when it comes to those other services is because the events are where students are going to see you the most, and then they're going to come to you with those problems, and then that's when you can call into the services. Now, if we want to actually just get other services out there so students can see those other services, well then, of course, you get the board of director, you get the director of the board, which aligns with that service, plus whoever else wants to come, of course, is more than welcome. And with that service, then you would kind of plan an event with that service that fits the service. For example, let's say the tax clinic that we're doing right now. Again, we're not going to go throw a party to go try to get students to understand about the tax clinic. We're going to do something to engage with students that follows what we're doing in the games right now. Hence, we sent a few articles out, we sent a few emails out, we let them know about their taxes, and we said if you need help with your taxes, we have a tax clinic going on right now, so you can actually come out to us. CCC, again, they're not going to throw an event like the events that a rec team would do. They would throw something else to try to engage with students, because so they can learn about the community care center as well. And then that would go hand in hand with every other type of service that the Student Association offers.
When it comes to what goes on in the board, 90% of the stuff is not in the concern of students, or not what they need to know. Most of the stuff by the SA or by the board is confidential when it comes, and the only 10% which they need to know is how we're promoting it, and the other board members are promoting it as well. One of the other ways of promoting it, I didn't tell before, but it could be emailing on their college email. The newsletters, the monthly newsletters, I got in March. I didn't got anyone before that, but I got in March, which was pretty good. It told me what are the events which are happening, what are the clubs which are taking place, what are the more accessible things I can go to. The equity fund was one of the things. So the emails, the social media, the word of mouth, that's mainly it, and the other board members bring on their ideas as well. They become representatives. The whole board is actually a face, or actually a place where the students can go and know from. It's not just going to be me, it's not going to be the student governor, it's not going to be someone else. It's going to be the team as a whole, as a pack, who's going to be going out, telling students what they can do, what we have available for them, and if we do not have something available for them, then it's a discussion of the board. Then this is not in the college, let's bring it.
So we have ended this round, and we move towards the next round, which is the closing statement. Each candidate will get 2 minutes to present your closing statement, and we'll start with you first.
So it's ending. Pretty much talked a lot and love talking with these two beautiful people over here, and Peter over here as well. You're beautiful too. So, so when it comes to the closing statement, which I'm going to give, is like I'm going to just explain, give a tiny summary of what's going to happen in the whole next year. The summary is that you guys are going to enjoy every second of it. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to be exploring different places within staying in the GBC campus. You're going to be going to different places outside the college, traveling without hurting your pocket. If dance is your thing, dance is coming up. If music is your thing, music's coming up. If gaming is your thing, if anime is your thing, it's going to come up. You share your ideas with us, we bring that into reality. It hasn't been going on for a long much time that we got the ideas of students at a max level and we implemented it. But we want to do it now. We want the students to speak up, we want to ask students, and we want them to tell us what they need. What they need is what we fulfill. I have my personal ideas. I want to take you on a trip. I want to take you on parties. I want you to game more. I want you to dance more. There's more dance workshops coming up. there's lots of stuff which can come from my end, but what I want from you guys is share your ideas as much as possible. We have had pretty much fun in the past few years, but the next year, if I'm elected, I can promise you, you're gonna have the best year of your college life with best bolded letters. I can guarantee that. So that's what I promise and what my motive is in the next year. But the whole thing is, it's gonna be fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for something beautiful. I was going to be very sad if you didn't. I can promise a lot of things. And some of the things I do promise and I am going to make sure happen if I get elected is the Montreal trip. Is, again, if that's what we want, the biggest party that we had in the school. But most of all, and what I find is the most important, is I'm going to make sure that you're heard. I'm going to make sure that we have clubs for every single person. I'm gonna make sure what hobbies we have, what hobbies there are, they're gonna come to the light at George Brown College next year. I promise you, every month, we're gonna have different events that students want, that you can have your input for. I promise you, you're not gonna be at the student association, you're gonna be a part of the student association. That is all. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. We promised a lot. Thank you, everybody. The students participate, students listen to us, the students from St. James. This is the end of today's debate, but please pay attention. 21st of March, the vote will open. You can vote. The vote continued until the 28th of April. Please participate actively. And for more information, you can check the Student Association website, and always you can follow our social media. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Here's what I'll say.